Hello, Jonathan from Better Music here. Today we're doing a shootout between two entry-level 88-key weighted action keyboards, the FP-10 and the P-145, Roland and Yamaha. Let's do it. These are both entry-level weighted action 88-key models, and they're perfect for beginners, perfect for players that maybe have something a little bit smaller, maybe started off on like a 61-key, a non-weighted action keyboard, and they're wanting to step up to something that's just nicer to play, basically. You can be a lot more dynamic, you can be a lot more expressive when you've got a weighted action keyboard in front of you as opposed to a non-weighted action. Other benefits to a weighted action would be just it's really good for technique. It's really good for developing, the muscles in your fingers, and it really elevates your playing. That's really what a weighted action keyboard is all about. So both of these models have a very, very similar feature set. They're both kind of equivalent models, obviously different brands, but very, very similar. You can expect great quality from both of them. They both have onboard speakers, 10 sounds on board the Yamaha to choose from. Roland have a few extra sounds. They have about 15 sounds on board that you can access. They both have a metronome on board, which is really handy for practice. In terms of the action, that's probably another really big thing. I mean, they're both a weighted action. They both feel fantastic to play, but obviously being different brands, there is a different feel between the two. And of course, it's very difficult for me to kind of describe that through the camera to you, how they feel. The action on the FP-10 is, I would describe as a heavier action. The action that's on this one is called the PHA4 action by Roland, and it actually has what's called an escapement on board as well. And what the escapement is it's that little click that you feel as you press the key down, as the key travels down, and that's simulating the feeling of an actual acoustic piano. That's what that's doing there. On the P-145, it doesn't have that escapement, but it still does feel very realistic, and there still obviously is a weight behind the key, but there's definitely a difference between the two, and it is quite noticeable. Whether or not that makes them better or worse, just different flavors, I suppose. So in terms of the physical design and the actual build of the pianos, they're both exceptional quality, and you'd expect that from Roland or Yamaha, two really, really high quality brands. In terms of the depth of the pianos, they're both very similar. In terms of their weight, again, very, very similar. It's really easy to access the functions on board. There's only very limited buttons on board, which is really, really good in my opinion, especially if you're buying this keyboard for kids, because it just keeps distraction down. The beauty about these kind of keyboards is they're more like a learning tool. They're more like, I don't know, just something to just keep you on track, and just keep you focused. So really there's one button, literally, or two buttons, I lie, on the P-145. So there's a function button that also doubles as just being able to get to the main piano sound, the grand piano sound. And then to access the different sounds on board, you literally just hold this button here, and then you just touch the corresponding key. So if I want to listen to harpsichord, there you go there. If you ever just want to get back to piano, you can either hold this button here and touch grand piano 1, or what you can do is you can go from that to grand piano just by hitting this button alone. So you just hit that and you're back to piano. It's a very, very similar thing for the Roland. There's 2 extra buttons on the Roland, so 4 buttons in total. So there's, again, a function button. You hold the function button and you touch the corresponding key to change sounds. You also have access to the volume through these 2 buttons here. So instead of a slider on the Yamaha, there's 2 buttons there, but really it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really, in terms of controlling that. Also, if you want to access the metronome, it's the same thing. You just hold this function button and you turn on the metronome, you turn off the metronome. You can of course change the tempo, you can change the beat, you can change the volume as well of the metronome, all by kind of holding this button and then pressing the corresponding key. So they both have a very similar design in that way, and I actually think it's really intuitive and it's really easy to use. And like I said before, it just helps you focus. And there's no extraneous buttons everywhere for kids to be touching. So it's a good thing. Never fret, there is a headphone jack on the back of both of these models, which is really, really handy for practicing silently, of course, if you don't want to disturb people around you, or if you've got kids doing their best / banging away, you'll probably want to advise giving them a pair of headphones as well to use. So they both come with headphone jacks, which is really good. Okay, enough talking. Let's compare the sounds of these two models. So I'm just going to start off with just the main piano sound, the grand piano sound on both of these models. So let's have a listen. Let's see if you can notice a difference at home, if you're playing at home. Bonus points for anyone in the comment section if they know what song that is, and a shout out to those people. Another really important thing worth mentioning with both of these models is you can both connect them to the apps, all the hundreds of apps that are out there. But with the Roland, you can actually use it wirelessly with your iPad or your tablet or your phone, whatever you've got. With the Yamaha, you will need to use an optional adapter. So that's just something you need to bear in mind. Another thing worth mentioning, differences between the two models, is the Yamaha now is compatible with a triple pedal unit, which is kind of a big deal. It's never been like that, especially on like an entry-level model like the P-145. So that's kind of a big deal. The FP-10 does take a sustain pedal, but it doesn't have access to the triple pedal unit. Again, just something to bear in mind. Thanks very much for watching, guys. This has been the Roland FP-10 and the Yamaha P-145. Both of these brands, entry-level, 88 key weighted action digital pianos. It's been a pleasure for me to bring them to you. If you have any questions at all, let us know. Leave some comments below. We'll do our best to get back to you. Yeah, but thank you very much for watching. Cheers.